starting? Okay, it's starting. We're going to share our screen and we're going to open up our Excel. Okay. So 21 in section 8.1 says reading rates. The reading speed of second grade students is normal with mean of 90 words per minute and standard deviation of 10 words per minute. Part A says, what is the probability of random sample size 24 will read greater than 95 words per minute? Answer that question right now. Okay? How would you do that? We would need a z-score. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, find the area.
On the area under the curve. Should we draw a picture to make sure we know what we're doing? Okay, so if we're drawing our picture, let me stop sharing here for a second. Wow, that's really terrible out of focus. I'm sorry. There, now we go. All right, so we're drawing a picture of what? Normal curve. And the mean of our normal curve is 90 words per minute, right? And I got a standard deviation of 10. So I know that according to 68, 95, 99 rule, between 80 and 100, that's where 68% of the kids are going to be, right? Okay. Now, but that's for one student. We've got 24, right? Okay, and we want to know, here, if I do it this way, I'll use a different color. No, I got two blacks. How'd that happen? Blue, okay? Well, 95 would be right here, but we also know that this is going to be a much smaller distribution, right? Much narrower because this blue distribution is only 24 students. And so it has a much smaller standard deviation, right? Okay? So, and it says at least 95, doesn't it? If I go back to my question. More than 95 words per minute. So we're going to want this area here to the right. We need to figure out what that area is. Okay? So how do we do that? So the z-score. So z is going to be 95 minus 90 over 10 over square root of 24. So that's going to be 5 over square root of 24 is about 5, right? 10 divided by 5 is about 2. Okay, roughly. Let's get a better answer for that. Okay, but that's basically what we got here. So if we're going to be a little bit more accurate, I'm sharing. Okay, so z equals 95 minus 90 and equals 10 divided by the square root of 24. It's a little more than 2, so this divided by that says that I'm 2.44 standard deviations away. Okay? So now what?
Use your chart.
You need your chart, or you can use your computer, right? Let's use the computer because I think you guys are rustier on that than you are on the chart, right? Okay? So how would you do? So that's your z-score. And if we're using the computer, how do we find the answer?
1 minus.
Equals 1 minus norm s dist. Oops. Norm s dist of the z-score that I just found. Okay? So that would be 0.7%. That doesn't look like 0.7 because we're taking the regular population versus this. But yeah, this population is going to be 2.5 standard deviations away. Okay? So that's pretty small, right? Question?
For 21A, it's the probability at a randomly selected student. The sample size should be 1, right?
Where did they get the 24 from?
That's later. That's C.
Oh, I did part C. I did part C first. Sorry, I did C. Okay, we can go back to A. A, what is probability that a random student is greater than 95 words per minute? Okay. How would you do that? The exact same way. In fact, I'm just going to copy all this. I'm going to paste it. But instead of putting, I don't know why I can't read up here. That's bizarre to me. It's really weird. Oh, I didn't notice I can't read spell students. Get out of here. Square root of 1, right? 1 student now. Everything else is the same. We went to a half a standard deviation, which is what it looks like here. And that's going to be 30%. They're almost 31%. Is that unusual for a student to read 95 words per minute? No, it's going to happen about 30% of the time. Question, Savannah.
Can you go over part F?
Part F. F says there is a 5% chance that the mean reading speed of 20 girls. Oh, where did they get the girls from? 20, they're not girls, they're just students. Will exceed what value? How'd you do that? Bugs me that I can't see here. Anyway. There's 2 ways to do this. What'd you say?
Using the chart, you can find which one.
Using the chart. How would you do it without the chart?
Norma's inverse.
Norm is inverse. Very good. So the 5% is norm as inverse. And I'm going to put what for my probability? Let's see. Will exceed what value? So I'm going to put in what? 0.95. We want 95% to the left, 5% to the right. Okay? So that's going to give me 1.644. I think the table would give you 1.645. Okay? All right, now what? What do I do with that value? This one's actually easier to do on paper, but maybe I'll go back to the screen here. Okay? So the idea here is we've got a mean reading speed of 90. We want 5% here, which means we've got 95% here. We convert that to 0 and we're 1.645 standard deviations away, right? So we want to figure out what is this value here.
You use Z-score and you just do 1.645 equals.
Can't hear you.
You just use your Z-score and do like 1.645.
Yeah, we use the same equations, equals x bar minus mu over sigma over the square root of n. Okay? And
Maybe 1.645
1.645 equals
x minus 90.
x bar minus 90 over
Standard deviation of 10.
10 over
Square root of.
square root of 20, wasn't it 20? I think it was 20. F was 20 second grade students, right? Okay, and then now we just have to solve for x bar, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides times 10 divided by the square root of 20. And then I'm going to add 90, right? So that goes away. So x bar equals whatever that equals. And if I share my screen again, I hate this thing. Okay. So I've done it on the board. So I'm going to take this number, I'm going to multiply it by 10, divide it by the square root of 20, and I'm going to add 90. And that gives me 93.678 words per minute.
So when I looked up this score chart, it gave me -1.
Yeah, and I got the same thing using the computer.
So the answer in the book's the 93, but I got negative like.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you know why that was?
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at the, so here's why that was. So you were looking at the chart, okay? Now, did you notice here that I didn't put 5% in there? I put 95% in there. You put 5% in there. And that's why you missed it. It's the same thing with the chart. So if I'm looking at the chart, oh my gosh, that's weird. Go away. Oh, so yeah, I'm still sharing. So on the chart, here's the chart. So yes, there's two ways to do this actually, okay? You can do this backwards, and you looked up 5%, which was in between those two numbers there, right? But that's on the low side, you want it on the high side, so you really should be looking for 95%, which is
505.
it's in between those two numbers there. Okay? Now, by the way, we haven't really talked about these yet, but yeah, 5%. On the left side, you get negative 1.645. On the right side, you get positive 1.645. I'll teach you those tables, but they are there. Okay? I haven't learned those yet, but you can see them there too. Okay? So yes, that's why drawing the picture is a little bit helpful. I bet you didn't draw a picture. That's why you missed it. Okay? What would Rick do? He would always draw a picture because he wants to get it right. Okay? All right. Well, that was a lot of stalling. By the way, did we answer all your questions? We didn't do the whole thing, but did we answer the questions you had? Okay. Does that mean you're ready for your quiz? Okay. Amelia's glad because she's like, man, I already missed the quiz, but you stalled enough for her. Saved her. Okay. Where's Mason today? Mason, we missed you, man. We even took the quiz late for you, and you're still not here. All right, so let me turn off the video for the quiz. Stop.